So hello and welcome to a very depressed edition of Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition, Part 27. I was really, kind of getting dead set on the idea of uh, doing a modded out version of Final Fantasy VII for the third anniversary of Pixels Plays. But apparently everything is conspiring against me to just not make this happen. Because everything is going wrong. This is just the most infuriating game to mod. I said it before, like, you have to revert it to the old version, more or less, because you can't just install mods through the Steam version. You have to, revert it in a way to the old version. I was able to do that actually fairly easily, but then the 7th pad doesn't seem to want to work. And part of it might be because I'm also trying to use the Reunion mod, which does support Steam. Which, provides, first and foremost, the updated translation, which I think I really want to, go with. I mean, I could just go with just the updated translation and nothing else. Maybe, but... or whatever other stuff that Reunion adds to it, but I'd really like to have the fully, blinged out experience. With higher definition backgrounds, character models, everything. Apparently, I can't have it all. Like, I can't have anything. And when I can run the game, but then the updates aren't there. The character models are still the same plain Jane, super pixelated, not super pixelated, super polygonal looking models that I don't like very much at all. And yeah, it's just dumb that, like, the Reunion team, on top of everything else, like, they're just, like, I'm complaining about, like, the Remako stuff because it doesn't support Steam, the Steam version by default. And then the Remako team, I'm infuriated with because they can't keep it consistent with, they don't have it, like, they haven't, as far as I can tell, they haven't made a version for 7th Heaven. Like, okay, like, fine, make a version that actually supports Steam and everything that Steam is doing. Like, that's great. But you should also, like, for people who want to do all the other old mods that have never been updated to work with Steam, maybe make it a 7th Heaven version of it. That can be used with that, so I can do everything through the same program, and because it's a pretty decent mod manager as far as I can tell. I haven't actually tried to run the game before doing Reunion, so I don't know if all these problems are a conflict with the way Reunion works or whatever. I did rename one of the AXEs when I found a guide, but I did it after I had to uninstall and reinstall the game. I mean, making any sense, but this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm trying to put it together in my head. Maybe I need to, like, completely uninstall everything entirely. Just revert my computer to factory settings. Frickin' no. There are just so many steps, and I spent like maybe 2 hours minimum trying to get this game to work with all the mods. On top of that, it's not even running in full screen. It's running a tiny little window. I think Remako's actually fairly new, so why the hell doesn't it just support the Steam version? Just make it support the Steam version. Because I find myself is kind of like, it would be great because, like, there's a lot you can do with mods, and there's a lot of things that can be improved, including the translation, by, using mods. Final Fantasy IX, like, it's mainly just the backgrounds that are improved as far as I can tell. and it's already a perfectly serviceable game in a number of ways. So, you know, and quite frankly, like I'm more interested to play Final Fantasy VII legitimately with the materia system and actually exploring that and like all that that does and all the content that's in that game. You know, it's I think the first Final Fantasy game I really got into and played virtually all the way through. Um, Grad with cheat codes, so like this will be my first time playing it legitimately, um, which would be awesome. And if I was not, it would be the same thing, but it doesn't have the material system. It has like a bunch of kind of I don't know, like item refining stuff or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It is the big gimmick of Final Fantasy Nine. Um, you know, I kind of ended up getting my heart set on Final Fantasy Seven, and it just looks like it's not going to happen, especially with there being a deadline. Like as an anniversary stream, it has to be done by tomorrow, and I don't think it's going to be done by tomorrow. Um, Maybe I could do it after 9, and if I could work out all the kinks, which I no freaking clue. I had no idea what the hell to do, other than just like uninstall the game, maybe find a better guide that's like based on a newer version of Rimako, or remake whatever, Remako, however it's supposed to be pronounced. I don't know. I think a lot of mods are just using the old framework, and the Reunion team doesn't care that they're using the old framework and about compatibility issues. Um, I'll probably do a bunch of research. I just really need to play this game, um, and get my mind off things. So anyway, besides that whole rant aside, I there's things that I actually want to talk about related to um, what we've been doing in this game. The people watching actually probably care about. So I have been thinking, as I often do, about the role playing and you know my my choices as Maimio. Um, I should really wait until we get the music out of the way. Um, I don't know. I guess my last thought on the whole Final Fantasy VII thing is that, um, basically, it's probably part of my Asperger's syndrome. Like, once I set my mind to something like I want to do, things go wrong. I can't do it. My brain just no. I, I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to get it working. I really want to do it. I, that's my plan, and my plan is failing. Like it's more frustrating for me than like the average Joe, because when the reality doesn't match my expectations, it like I'm old enough and mature enough in a lot of ways at this point in my life to, I guess, knowledgeable enough about my disability to like realize that this is just that part of my brain chemistry talking. But anyway, so um, Namio's choices. Um, so I this is probably I don't know. Like I think that the biggest fault of this game, and I have no, I haven't really looked into whether or not there's any mods that actually like make the approval system invisible. So anyway, oh yeah, I was gonna, I don't freaking know. I don't really care enough to, but anyway, what the hell? I just want to. Dang it! I'm. Oh great! It's freaking the whole. My phone's frozen up on me. This isn't even an old phone. No, Chrome is. What the hell? Why can't I? Okay, Chrome is freaking out. Chrome is just. There's invisible main character. Invisible helmets. Um. I don't know. Like I. Approval editor. I. Whatever. Like I would like to see a mod that basically makes approval invisible, so that I don't see like, oh, this character approves, this character greatly disapproves. Like it feels like it encourages metagaming. It encourages me to think of my decisions. And great, like in character, like maybe there's characters who we want their approval more, and maybe there's a degree to which we can kind of, or it's an expression of how we can kind of see or kind of guess at which characters approve or disapprove and to what degree they do. I don't know, but it feels like it's difficult for me to think of things from the standpoint of like what my character would do versus like, well, what is going to result in the most approval from other characters. Um, Although I think it's only really come up like maybe once or twice where I did actually like reload a save to like make a different choice. And again, it was back when I wasn't sure whether or not my inability to progress with dialogue with Solus was due to not high enough approval or something else, which it turned out to be something else. It turned out to be the fact that I didn't pick a particular dialogue option yet, and I had a lot of catching up to do in terms of cutscenes of him. Um, so anyway, the way things have gone so far, I feel like it's kind of in character for Mimeo, relatively speaking. You know, there are things we're establishing about her. We're establishing the idea that she kind of has this. I mean, with the multi romance mod, which I had to say, I'm largely doing it because this game actually has very good romance writing. It's just like this is probably in terms of Bioware games that I've experienced. This is like the best. Um, I mean, more. It's been a while since I did Liliana romancing, or I romanced any other characters. I've only romanced two characters in Dragon Age, Liliana and more recently Morrigan. Um, so I can't really. And Liliana was many more years ago, so I can't remember much about it. I think it was pretty decent, but I don't know. Um, Morrigan's pretty good. It's difficult to say if I enjoyed it really, because it it was okay. It was alright. I didn't dislike it, but it I may have been caught up too much in the fact that like I just was playing as a male character and doing all this just to experience the Morgan romance. I think I was also caught up in the fact that like I had to kind of follow a guide to do all the right things and make all the right dialogue choices um to get it right. Which I think is maybe not so great. Like here, like it's not that difficult to like screw up. With Morgan, I think it's fairly easy to screw up. I think that might have been part of what sort of dampened my enjoyment of it, was because I was so concerned about saying the right things and to rather than just role playing it naturally, and that it yeah. Maybe that's just my fault for wanting to do it perfect rather than just generally trying to be kind to her and or whatever, um, and just hoping that goes the right way. Um, but whatever. We're talking about this. We're talking about my Meow. Um, but yeah, I generally really like the romances and you know the characters and such. You know, I'm not gonna absolutely romance every character that's romanceable in a single playthrough. But you know, but anyway, so like as a result of that, I have this idea that, like I I I, I really should have looked this up, but you know the definition of polyamorous, if that like applies in this circumstance, because it's like again I think I've described this before. Like it's the idea like, you can like love and effectively commit yourself to multiple people without it without the the notion, just with the idea that, like, that commitment does not necessarily include exclusivity. You know, Effectively, in a way, she's building a harem, but I don't know. This is a harem anime. We're making this into a harem anime. Although, like, we already had like half of our our harem is they're dropped off for various reasons. Um, but with Iron Bull, it's because if we really love him, we'll set him free to possibly be with Orion. I'm not sure if that's a possibility yet. Um, and Solus is because, and I guess I'll go into this. It happens regardless. I did a Google search to confirm that, and yes, it does. Like I had a feeling that this happens regardless, and that's great. I don't have to go back and do my decisions, which brings me to my next point, which is I feel that everything that Mamio has done is effectively in character, more or less. Um, I'll try to go for step by step, if as much as I can remember. So her like the way she handled the elves, the proto elves or whatever. I don't know, ancient elves. I have just a particular term for them, but anyway, um, apparently they're terrible according to Lore Runner. Um, or have been terrible in the past. Um, Whether or not that justifies genocide is debatable, but I mean that's kind of an interesting question in a way. Like, if an entire race is down to like a handful of people, or culture, I guess in this case, it is down to just a small handful of people who can kind of easily be, and you just come into conflict with them irreconcilably, and you end up killing them all. Like, does that really count as genocide? Because the intent was not to like just wipe out an entire culture. It was just like, okay, you're fighting us. Our goals are separate. We're at an impasse, and you, by your own isolation and your own choices have come to be like this limited group of people. Um, like, my intention is not to destroy the entire culture. My intention is to do what needs to be done, and if it involves having to wipe out an entire culture, then that's not necessarily necessary sacrifice, but it's a regrettable sacrifice, I guess. Um, and not what we're doing necessarily deliberately with the intent. If anyone surrendered, or I don't know. That's a whole can of worms. But that's kind of the first choice, and the thing is, she wants to know about the well. Like, she doesn't want that to be off limits, and she's not sure she can really trust them or whatever. I don't know. She might be in a sense that, at least in this one's instance, more neutral to good and evil than you know. This probably would be an instance where like she is like neutral to good and evil. Like, sometimes the ends may justify the means, but it's yeah. It's not like she's going out of her way to be genocidal. It's like, but anyway, the choice between her and Morgan, I think, is the next key important one. Um, Again, like, she has an interest in the culture of her people, um, which is almost purely academic. Um, like, she doesn't necessarily believe that the elven gods were gods, but that they are effectively, maybe in a sense, demigods. I think I mentioned this before, like that they're powerful beings created by the Maker, maybe for some reason, and she kind of wants to know what that reason is. Like, she believed that they were entities that existed and they're part of the Maker's creation, and you know, she wants to learn more about her culture. Even if she doesn't necessarily believe everything about it. Um, it's also the culture that she was raised in, and her Androstian beliefs, which I'm not sure if I really have any idea of like how she came into them. It's really weird because like so much of our background is like almost set in stone. Like we are a spy sent from, or something sent by our clan to see what happens in the peace accords or whatever. Um, so it means like we're still part of our clan, which I don't think we ever really see or actually encounter in any meaningful way. We encounter elven clan. We encounter an elven clan, but we don't. I think there might be some missions that we can do that relate to our own elven clan, but yeah. Um, I may have kind of skipped through them. Uh, um, I was doing a bunch of them in mass. But yeah. Uh, so like, if I could rewrite hers, it might be that she was like lost from her clan and adopted by the Chantry or something. I don't know. Um, it's also just very weird that like we can specify as an elf that we believe in the Maker. Yet there's no way we could really justify that within the context of our backstory. Like, how did we come to believe in the Maker within the context of our established history and backstory? Um, so I haven't really given it that much thought because I'm not quite sure it makes that much sense. Um, I mean, I don't know. It might be that at some point in her youth or whatever, she encountered a Andrastian chantry and sort of became fascinated by it. And again, she kind of integrates the two beliefs together in a way. Um, Maybe she had adopted Andrasti in a sort of way to rebel against her parents or something. I don't know. And it just became part of herself. Um, and for a reason, she was not expelled from the tribe for her beliefs. Um, Either because she kept them to herself a bit, or I guess like she officially kind of like, oh, I don't really believe it, but she personally does. I don't know. I imagine it being something like that, roughly speaking. Um, but when like she has an interest in her culture and learning more about it and learning more about what the actual truth of it might be. Um, and to better reconcile in her head like how both the Elvish pantheon and the Maker might be real in a sense. Um, So drinking from the well and getting the knowledge and wisdom out of it, like she feels like it's her curiosity. It's also the fact that like she doesn't necessarily, she feels like it could be dangerous, and Morgan is a mother, and you know, in some ways she's too important to potentially risk the consequences of it. Whereas her, like, okay, she's the leader of the Inquisition, and a lot of bad stuff could happen if she like dies or something, or goes mad from absorbing the information or something. Um, but it's her risk to take. It's a combination of things. Um, Now, that I think brings us to also, I guess another thing to note is Solo says that he begged us not to do it. I don't remember him doing that. I mean, he may have said something offhand or at some point in the dialogue, but I don't remember him. Like, I remember like when we consult everyone, like he was saying like we should take this information and learn from it. I don't think he. I mean, there may be something that we could have gotten if we made the right dialogue choice, or maybe there's something I missed, or or just don't remember. But like if again, we're gonna hear this a couple times. But if I could properly like role play like a pen and paper game, um, like I would be like, you should have begged harder. You should have been more insistent, or made it exceptionally clear that you do not want me to do this. Because if you basically, if Solus had just said, please don't do this, if he'd like asked nicely, sort of, like if he'd been like, please don't do this, it's too dangerous, I don't want to lose you or whatever, you know, you're meddling in things you ought not to or whatever. Um, if he'd been more insistent and literally begged me, begged Mimeo, she may have listened and just let Morgan do it. Like if that had happened, there's a fair chance she would have, excuse me, changed her mind because she trusts Solus' judgment and respects it, and of course she loves him too, in her own way. Maybe not quite as much as she loves Josephine. Probably roughly as much as she loves Sarah. Again, Josephine is the OTP of this harem anime. Um, but anyway, so yeah, like her motivation for doing it is, that she's curious, and she feels that Morgan really has more to lose, stuff like that. And Solus didn't beg hard enough. He didn't make it that clear that he opposed to it. He opposed to her doing that. Um, and of course, it wasn't the reason why he broke things off with her. We might get some hints as to that. Pre-trespasser, there's apparently some dialogue with him and Cole that hints at why. Um, we might try and see if we can get. Um, but anyway, that I guess brings us to our next thing, which is the tattoos. I can't remember what they're called. I think I recently heard the term again. Um, it's an interesting conversation. And it's a combination of things. Like the tattoo she got at a young age, probably before. I don't know which age elves get the tattoos at. Um, Even if she was like a teenager or something, or like it was part of the coming of age thing. Um, it's possible that like she didn't like if she had been more of the Antrostian faith at that point, she may have gotten it just out of a sense of obligation, not like a personal connection to the gods. Um, but like she did mention during in the dialogue that it doesn't really matter where what the tattoos actually mean, or meant originally. That their meaning is kind of changed. Um, and that's what's important. Like what they represent to her tribe, to her ancestors, is more important than what they may have originally been. Like she kind of sees it that way, but at the same time, uh, she may in a way be doubting the ancient elven gods more now than ever in a way. Like I don't know. Like it's a combination of her own doubt in the ancient elven gods, the fact that she didn't necessarily have a whole lot of choice about getting the markings in the first place, um, and the fact that they are connected to like the slavery basically thing, um, that just sort of combined to make her just decide like get rid of them. Uh, that which I guess brings us to our dialogue with Sarah. Um, this is something where I remember like this. I think the exact same thing happened the first time I played the game, and was like kind of role. I think I was also kind of role playing a little bit then too. Um, we had this conversation where, she was freaking out, the way she did here, and and being, you're being too elfy, um, and uh, I kind of wish that there was more of a middle option. And in granted, like there sort of is building up to it. Um, like we could kind of say like well that they may there may be some truth in them or whatever, like that sort of thing. Um, is that worth exploring? And I think the point, in a manner of speaking, is that Sarah just doesn't like to think about this kind of thing. She likes the simplicity of one maker who loves us and cares about us and watches us from on high or whatever. You know, who treats everybody equally and considers everybody equally or whatever. All of these, the idea that there being these multiple elven gods with their politics and their, all the mythology and, you know, and their internal conflicts or whatever. Um, like she doesn't like it. She can't. And they did it. Maybe they both somehow exist. Like she, I think she can't quite reconcile it the way that Mimeo kind of does. Um, and she doesn't want to reconcile it. Like I don't know. Like I think that she likes things to be simple, and the Elven pantheon is not simple. Um, um, so I think my own sort of head canon way for that conversation to go, or the way I personally have it go, is that like okay, I get it. You don't like this elfy stuff, and it is kind of silly. It you know, but it matters to me somewhat. Like it's not like the be all end all. Like but you know, I want to convey that like my interest in, or that Miami's interest in the elven, all this elvish stuff was kind of more academic than anything. Like it's just a hobby of sorts to like find out more about these things because it interests her. It's tied to her heritage as an elf. You know, it's pointless, maybe a bit silly, but like if we don't learn from the past, we're doomed to repeat it, sort of thing. Can be part of it. Um, but the final conclusion would be, if it makes you feel better, I will pretend that I have no interest in any of this when I'm around you. Like if it makes you feel better, if it makes you at more ease with hanging out with me, like we just won't talk about it. You know, as long as we're clear that we're pretending, because I don't want to lie to you and say like I have no interest in this whatsoever. You know, but if you don't like to think about it, then I will go out of my way to make sure that you don't have to think about it. And if no, just knowing that like I have an interest in this thing, um, bothers you so much, I'll send Cole to make you forget. It's like no, no, nothing but that. And we'll be happy again. And I don't know. I mean, if we're just narrowing everything down to the OTP of Josephine, um, maybe we could just have them break up over that subject matter. Um, although at this point it would be an alternate thing since we already chose to at least pretend in a way. It is hard to say like whether or not, if we had the option, whether or not Sarah would actually like be okay with this whole idea of us kind of just pretending that I don't care about it at all, when I actually do, kind of. Again, academically, let me make that clear. Like it's academic. It's not like I actually believe any of it. It's not like I believe there may be some truth to it, but it's not like the maker is the maker. Is the maker. Um, whatever these elven deities are, they're something different than the maker. Yeah, I haven't made a new title card with the untattooed face. I think now we've officially spent more time talking about Mamio's choices than spending it talking about how frustrated I am with the way Final Fantasy 7 modding is. But I mean, I recently watched Lord Runner's more recent playthrough of Final Fantasy 7, so I'm not sure that even with the updated graphics, it would be simply good to just do the updated graphics. I kind of want the updated translation on top of it.
Give me, Inquisitor. For personal interest, I have relieved Josephine, as you might expect.
Okay.
Knight Templar Samson, General to Corypheus, traitor to the Order. The blood on his hands cannot be measured. His head is too valuable to take. Kirkwall or Lay, many would see him suffer. I can't say I'm not one of them.
Too valuable to kill, really? Don't worry, he'll suffer.
The headman's axe isn't enough? That's an impressive amount of ill will.
The Red Lyrium will steal your vengeance. You know what it does. Corypheus only delayed my corruption.
Are you still loyal to that thing? He poisoned the Order, used them to kill thousands.
Templars have always been used. How many were left to rot like I was, after the Chantry burned away their minds? Piss on it. I followed him, so Templars could at least die at their best. Same lie as the Chantry. The profit just isn't as pretty.
Coward. You pretend you had no choice, but you could have fought.
I fought and lost long before Corypheus. Your commander thinks he knows what that feels like. Well, he's wrong.
You were always weak, and your leadership proves it.
Every one of those Templars would have suffered until nothing was left. And then be forced to kill and die. I gave them hope. Just like the Chantry. Just like you. I'm weak. And you're a savior. Do what you want. I'm done talking.
I'm sick of looking at you. There is no hole deep enough. Samson, you will spend your remaining days rotting in a cell. Get him out of here.
Do as you will, Inquisitor. Your kind always does.
I'm sure I need to justify that exactly. It's interesting that Josephine like recused herself from this, or had to be recused. I don't know. Kind of weird. There's no way to just go. Okay, apparently I can't do this. Go to hell. I can't call. Oh, I can call multiples. Huh? What? I don't want to go that way. Right in the middle of this. I don't know why they don't just put a marker on the frickin' do I have to pass through the garrison to progress? Looks like I might need to. Yeah, it looks like this whole thing is. Rifts in the battlefield? I actually see the rift. Or is it actually down below? Is it really far below? Okay, but I can't do that with the... I don't know if we need to do this to, like, progress. Because I don't see, like, any way through. So... Hey, we have another fast travel spot. Well, that's weird. I have like a lot of like chatter, but I don't actually see anyone. There's like 2 people here, and it sounds like there's a whole freaking crowd. Yeah, we could have gone around it the entire time. Maybe. Or not, I don't know. I can't go through it, so we have to go around it. What the hell? Yeah. How do we go? Well, that's a huge Fenrirall. Like, where is that exactly? Oh.
Ceasing ready to jump. Pain pounding, pulsing. Life of frustration can finally fall to freeze.
Ah, yes.
It holds him high, shows the hole where everything falls without him. He never needs to leave. He matters here.
That is one interpretation, yes.
You think it is different?
I think he fell, and it held him as he died, leaving him with images that told him his life was worthwhile.
That's much sadder. But yes, calm, comfort as the cold takes him away.
Ah, we probably need to
Long
actually.
have the people on the other side been cut off.
Great. We might actually need to do this before we can frickin'. We can't just like send word to Skyhold like, hey, we need. I'm glad you would have to wait regardless normally. I'm pretty sure.
We have to agree on the red one.
Am I sure about the dialogue I heard about? Or not? I wasn't paying enough attention to like really appreciate it, so. It just costs power, so I'm sure but actually. What are these? Great. I really don't know if we're going the right direction at all. Doesn't look like we are. Ah, okay, apparently I can give her the heart of a common wyvern. No, I'm... Damn it. I have no freaking clue how to get there. Just let me climb every mountain until I find my dreams. Come on. I can't swim. Can't climb, I can't swim. What the hell can I do? Freaking console walkthroughs what I need to do because I'm not experiencing enough bullshit from... Who the hell am I fighting? How to get to the Wyvern? You define a war map mission within the Exalted Planes to enter a new era. Really? Wait, north of... Fort Revachon. That's Fenn's camp. This is Riverside Garrisons. Yeah, I have to freaking put my damn pin number again. Close to a different camp called Fenn's Camp, but with mounted on it, but you can't access it until you run the mission. Wait, I had to go through... I can't travel because I'm in freaking combat with something I can't freaking see. No, I'm not gonna fight a bunch of wolves. Screw that. I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm not in combat. Why can't I travel there? I am not fighting. Nothing's even chasing me. What? Why am I... I'm not fighting anything. Okay, I act like I'm in combat and then I'm actually out of it. It's for the area that I avoided before because there's a freaking... Fade Rift. Maybe I can just wander my way around it. Yeah, I can.
It's quiet here. I like it.
Too quiet. Okay. That's the wyvern. No, we're not fighting demons. We're claiming a broken dog. Dog.
So many eyes peering from underneath.
They're referring to the fish. I don't see a fish. Is there some sort of Lovecraftian monster here? That's a crit. What does the wyvern look like? Ah, I think I see it. Kind of want to see what level this dragon is. Oh, Jojo says not that they're looking for wyverns. Are they a type of wyvern? Oh. It's by a fade rift.
Feel another of the elven artifacts. harder for tears to form here.
Offering to the Dread Wolf. The English believe that Fenrirel, the Dread Wolf, locked the gods of good and evil away. Only he walks free. Although they see him as a betrayer, elves still erect shrines to Fenrirel. One imagines they do not revere him so much as seek to appease him lest they draw his gaze. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Geneti. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, it's a level 15. We might be able to fight him. Like we're... Oh, come on. Come on, no. Frickin'. He's down bloodied. That's interesting. He basically shocks all the water. Sweep the legs. I think we got this.
Sorry your friend died, Solus.
Thank you, Cole.
I didn't know there were spirits of wisdom.
There are few. Spirits form as a reflection of this world and its passions. We will never lack for spirits of rage, or hunger, or desire. The world gives them plenty to mirror. The gentler spirits are far more rare. We can ill afford the loss of even one spirit of wisdom, or faith, or compassion.
I will try not to die.
Do that, please.
Here, no, amazing creatures, dragons. Everyone I've encountered has unique personality. This one, for example, enjoys being around water. Saw her splashing about. A remarkable sight. I would have joined in the revels had Caleb not held me back. Ah, Caleb, a good porter, but timid. I told Caleb and the others, dragons much prefer to eat beasts or other wilds rather than humans. Fortunately, I was proven wrong. A day later, the creature turned away from the gargut to go after poor Caleb. I hope the brave little soul got to see the magnificent dome of her gullet. I'm certain it's like the inside of the Grand Cathedral. The observations of Stefan de Dieron. Orion.
Your worship.
What can I do for you, my dear? Is it too much to hope that you've brought me the heart of the snowy wyvern?
Oh yeah, we actually.
If you want the wyvern's heart, you'll have to tell me what you're using it for.
I can do better, darling. Give me the heart, and I'll show you what it's for. Will that suffice?
All right. One heart, as requested.
How kind of you. Please accept this as your payment. I must begin work immediately. You have been a dear friend, and I would like you to come with me. This should only take a moment, Inquisitor. I'm here, my darling.
Vivienne,
Yes, darling.
it's going to be alright, my love.
My darling? Bastien?
We should go.
Vivian, I'm sorry.
There's nothing here now.
Okay, that was quick. I'm pretty sure that was a snowy wyvern. I think that happens regardless, though. I think we should have gone directly into like an actual discussion of things rather than.
Bastien is dead. I can hardly believe. It was the Wintersend Ball. My first visit to the Imperial Palace. The Circle sent a dozen of us to entertain the nobility. I was in awe of everyone and everything, and then our eyes met. Bastien spent the entire ball at my side. The Dowager tried to have him killed for slighting her, but he didn't care.
Falling in love across a crowded ballroom. Sounds like something out of a children's story.
He was a dashing rogue, and any defects he might have had were made up for with rank and importance. It was a more innocent time, I suppose. And now he's gone, and I must write to his son Laurent. And his sister will make a terrible fuss if she isn't informed first. And I'll need to arrange for the chantry services. Maker only knows how long that will take.
If I can help you, just say the word.
No, my dear. I'll handle everything. Excuse me, I have so much to do.
Okay.
It's been quite the momentous day, hasn't it, my dear? How do you feel? It's not every day one absorbs ancient elven magic.
I feel great.
I've never felt better. I feel ready to take on Corypheus.
Glad to hear it, my dear. No doubt there will be side effects later, but one thing at a
Yeah,
time.
now cases of
This is a nearly in place.
being controlled
We'll
by an
soon
ancient
strike
elven
against Corypheus direct.
deity that
You've done well. I will
has
be
a
proud to fight
complicated
alongside
relationship
you
with
when the time
Morgan.
comes. Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
Never mind, I should go. I think all of the loyalty missions pretty much taken care of. Like, there's still a bunch of, like, Memories of the Grey, unfinished business. There's one more of these. There's like 3 more of these. Oh, great. I could have taken care of that one.
Inquisitor.
I don't recall there being any way to like save him. Which I think is maybe the point, but
There, one of the rogue Templars.
It's over. Thank you for bringing us here.
interesting way to reconfigure our party here. I hate this search radius thing. Don't cost me in dreams. I hit with chisel and hammer. It shapes me in return. My flesh twists, claws and fangs ripping forth. A light in the sky makes the stone so much lighter. Caving Hills has good strong stone. I can shape it into something strong enough to keep you safe if I hurry. What's that piece? We should find like 3 more of them.
Your worship.
Have I told you how much I like the throne you placed in the Great Hall? The chantry symbolism adds just the right touch.
Josephine picks everything.
I just let Josephine pick whatever she wants.
There's wisdom in knowing when to defer to someone else's expertise, Inquisitor. And appearances are important. We can't have you mistaken for a commoner.
I can't let them think Andraste's herald is hung up on material things.
Of course not, my dear. But you also can't allow the powers of the land to think you run this organization on prayer alone. You command an army of the faithful, outfitted by the coin of the nobility. You must be a woman who commoners aspire to be, and to whom nobles bow.
My actions will inspire them. Appearances don't matter.
It would be a lovely world if we were all judged purely on our conduct, my dear. But it would not be this world. The stories of your accomplishments will spread, and with them, doubt. Are you truly the woman from the tales? They will question what they've heard, but they will believe what they see. They must see someone greater than legends.
There are plenty of others in the Inquisition who can serve to inspire the people. It doesn't have to be me.
My dear, ask yourself what will become of you if the Inquisition can endure on its own. If you are no longer necessary to move the faithful, you're a liability, a rival to those who would use the power you've amassed. Don't follow Andraste's path into the bonfire, Inquisitor. Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
Your lost books have been found.
My dear, you are a treasure.
Okay. Talk to Sandra to see if she has even said that we've done her
Your worship.
side quests.
What do you need, my friend?
Do you have any advice for me?
Find Corypheus. If he vanishes, he will only rebuild his power and come at us again. And he will come. Whatever mad play the Magister has in mind, you star as his nemesis. I shudder to think what a creature like that could concoct next, given the time.
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
Oh, I think I've also seen what Liliana says about her plans to reform the Chantry as the new divine if she's hardened. I think it's more, I guess, kind of what you expect. Like, she wants to reform the Chantry, make it open to everyone, but I think there's a lot more implication of her kind of stopping at nothing to do it. See if we can finally craft some. How powerful is our current armor? 262.
Worship.
Man, I need an insane amount of Dragon Bone.
Almost gotcha.
What? I feel like I haven't gotten any more Dragon Bone than I had before. I feel like I've actually bones for anything, so what the hell, man?
Where's my other hand? Right there.
Inquisitor, thank the Maker you're here. Morrigan chased after her son into the Illuvian. She was terrified.
What? Why is the Illuvian open?
It was open when I arrived. Morrigan said only that Kieran did it. Then she ran into the mirror. I've never seen Morrigan like that. You must go after her. I will find help, Inquisitor.
Wait, this isn't the Crossroads. This is the Fade. How did the Illuvian lead here? Can it go anywhere?
Oh boy. And we're trapped. There's still a giant sky portal there. So are that the Black City or?
Morrigan! Go back! I must find Kieran before it's too late.
I can't go back.
Why would
I
Kieran
tried.
do this? How could he do this? We stand in the Fade. To direct the Illuvian here would require immense power. If he is lost to me now after all I have sacrificed...
We'll find him, Morrigan. He can't be far.
The Fade is infinite. He could literally be anywhere. Whatever happens to him now, 'tis my doing. I set him on this path. Please, help me look, Inquisitor. Just a little longer.
What would happen if, like, we hadn't set this up? Oh boy. A siege thing? A battering ram, basically?
There he is!
Who's with him? That's...
That what? Ah!
Mother!
Grandmother.
Mother. Now, isn't this a surprise?
A surprise family reunion?
So this is all some kind of family reunion.
Mother, daughter, grandson. It rather warms the heart, does it not?
Kieran is not your grandson. Let him go.
As if I were holding the boy hostage. She's always been ungrateful, you see.
Ungrateful! I know how you plan to extend your life, wicked crone. You will not have me, and you will not have my son.
Oh, be a good lass and restrain her.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Of course you know. You drank from the well, did you not?
You are Mathal.
This would be a lot more different scene if she drank from the well. Now aren't you glad I stopped you from drinking from the well? That's impossible! Pleased to meet you.
Well, that was unexpected.
You, of all people, should expect the unexpected by now.
I'm sorry, Mother. I heard her calling to me. She said now was the time.
I do not understand.
Once I was but a woman, crying out in the lonely darkness for justice. And she came to me, a wisp of an ancient being, and she granted me all I wanted and more. I have carried
Well,
Mythal
Haley.
through the ages ever since, seeking the justice denied to her.
Then you carry Mythal inside you.
She is a part of me, no more separate than your heart from your chest.
Haley.
What do the voices tell you?
They say you speak the truth.
But what was Mythal? A legend given name and called a god? Or something more? Truth is not the end, but a beginning. So young and vibrant, you do the people proud and have come far. As for me, I have had many names, but you may call me Flemeth.
I know the name Flemeth. My people call you Asher Belenar, the woman of many years, and speak of your legend. It says long ago you left your husband for a lover. Your husband then tricked you, killed your lover, and imprisoned you. Then a spirit came to offer you vengeance. Mythal, that's what you spoke of.
One day someone will summarize the terrible events of your life so quickly. But yes, I was that woman. That is how my tale began.
Flemeth appears in other legends, helping heroes for reasons of her own.
I nudge history when it's required. Other times, a shove is needed.
If Mythal is a part of you, why haven't you helped us? We've called to you, prayed to you.
What was could not be changed.
What about now? You know so much.
You know not what you ask, child.
Why did Mythal come to you?
For a reckoning that will shake the very heavens.
And you follow her whims? Do you even know what she truly is?
You seek to preserve the powers that were, but to what end? It is because I taught you, girl. Because things happened that were never meant to happen. She was betrayed as I was betrayed, as the world was betrayed. Mythal clawed and crawled her way through the ages to me, and I will see her avenged! Alas, so long as the music plays, we dance.
So must I serve you now because I drank from the well?
Is that how you see yourself? A servant?
Not really.
I have no commands for you. Not yet.
Then what is it you want?
One thing, and one thing only.
I have to go now, Mother.
No. I will not allow it.
He carries a piece of what once was, snatched from the jaws of darkness. You know this.
He is not your pawn, Mother. I will not let you use him.
Have you not used him? Was that not your purpose? The reason you agreed to his creation?
That was then. Now he is my son. Flemeth extends her life by possessing the bodies of her daughters, Inquisitor. That was the fate she intended for me. I thwarted her, and now she intends to have Kieran instead.
Wait, the way she talked about Kieran.
I am not the only one carrying the soul of a being long thought lost.
He is more than that, Mother.
As am I. Yet do you hear me complain? Our destinies are not so easily avoided, dear girl.
Mother, I have to.
You do not belong to her, Kieran. Neither of us do.
If Kieran is so special, why did you wait until now to come for him?
I did not know where he was. Morrigan cleverly hid him from me. Until now.
the well.
Be thankful.
She would have found out either way.
Imagine, bound to your dear mother for eternity.
Whatever else you think he is, Kieran is still a child.
And so much better behaved than his mother was at his age.
Kieran,
As you wish. Hear my proposal, dear girl. Let me take the lad, and you are free of me forever. I will never interfere with or harm you again. Or keep the lad with you, and you will never be safe from me. I will have my due.
he returns with me.
Decided so quickly.
Do whatever you wish. Take over my body now if you must, but Kieran will be free of your clutches. I am many things, but I will not be the mother you were to me.
No more dreams?
No more dreams. A soul is not forced upon the unwilling, Morrigan. You were never in danger from me. As for you, Inquisitor, there is an ancient altar deep within a shaded wood. Go to it. Summon the dragon that is its guardian. Master it in combat, and it is yours to command against Corypheus. Fail and die.
Wait!
Well. This is actually how to handle player choices across different games.
Are you all right, Kieran? You are not hurt?
I feel lonely.
She wanted the old god soul all along. Is it worth reminding myself that perhaps I do not know everything after all? My mother has the soul of an elven goddess, or whatever Mythal truly was, and her plans are unknown to me.
So Kieran had the soul of an old god.
Taken from the archdemon at the final battle of the Fifth Blight. Yes, he has never known anything else. I'm uncertain what effect this will have on him.
But why did you...
I told you at the temple, the magic of old must be preserved, no matter how feared. Kieran had a destiny, and now it is in Flemeth's hands. I suppose we shall see what she does with it.
You truly had no idea what she was?
I knew she kept the truth from me. I even suspected she was not truly human, but this... I always thought the so-called elven gods were little more than glorified rulers, but now... I have doubt. And doubt is... an uncomfortable thing, Inquisitor. I suppose I should be thankful you drank from the well. Eternal servitude to Mother would not be my first choice.
For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing.
Did I? She was testing me, and I cannot tell whether I passed. Mother said you must summon a dragon at an ancient altar. Do you know where that is?
I think so. It's a place dedicated to Mythal.
As no doubt is the guardian you must battle. Pray my mother has not led you astray, Inquisitor. She is not above doing so for her own amusement.
So yeah, I don't think we're gonna be, like, beating the main quest tonight.
Mother must be very pleased. The Herald of Andraste, leader of the Inquisition, at her personal beck and call. I feel certain what happened at the Temple of Mythal must somehow have been her influence.
Perhaps she's influenced more than just what happened at the temple.
With Corypheus, you mean?
He does have that elven orb.
Which he had to acquire somewhere. Yes, I see. It is hard to imagine her motivation for doing so. Then again, everything about her is hard to imagine. I suppose we have little choice but to proceed and be thankful she assisted us at all.
Do you trust what Flemeth told us?
About what she is? I am uncertain. I knew there was more to her than I realized, that she was not truly human. This? I once found her grimoire, and that was where I learned her immortality was gained by stealing the bodies of her daughters. Flemeth claims I misunderstood. It is not forced on the unwilling. Meaning I might agree to such a thing? Impossible, yet there seemed an undeniable sense of truth to the things she told us. All my years spent hunting for arcane mysteries, and the greatest was the one I left behind.
So what do you intend to do now?
Now, I will take Kieran and leave. Where I will go is uncertain. I must consider the fact that Flemeth may yet have plans for me. You are her servant, but I am her daughter. I doubt she will let me slip completely from her clutches. Whatever happens, I wish you well in the coming battle, Inquisitor.
I'd like to know more about you.
If you have questions, then ask.
I should go.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Until next time, then.
What's up, Ellie? Cat up my lap. Ram.
A learned child is a blessing upon his parents and onto the Maker.
Good, Inquisitor. I am glad that issue has been resolved.
What is your evaluation of our supplies?
We are groaning with resources, a reflection of your competence and inspiration.
Are there others who could come to Skyhold?
They are helping now. I have contacted many of our finest, and their influence is not inconsequential. They are not, shall we say, prone to take the field, but we will be well supplied.
I take it you're a city elf, not Dalish.
It's not a useful identifier. I am an elf. I was raised away from the Dalish. No, I do not know their customs. I'm sure that much was immediately obvious. It's of little concern. I have skill enough to be evaluated by what I can do. My associates appreciate my work.
Where did you receive your training?
I studied with Adan after he left the service of the King of Ferelden. Well, when the king was no longer there to serve. Our College of Associates tends to meet informally. I've since been been fortunate enough to serve various heads of state. They are all as good as another, truth be told. My skills and contacts are better suited to more imminent need.
As you were.
Of course, Inquisitor.
Maker, though the darkness comes upon me, I shall embrace the light. I shall weather the storm.
Oh yeah, I think there's new character models with the one mod, so maybe I should just uninstall everything and then try to install the just the 'cause I think it includes some new character models, at least for like overworld.
Hello again.
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
Inquisitor?
Inquisitor Llewellyn, Oh! Forgive my surprise. Your face is... I thought those markings were permanent.
I learned something about them, and it's best they're gone.
Of course. If you say so. Yes.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
I mean, if you like them, I could just tab them back or something. I don't know. That's been quite back my 3-hour minimum, but it's been 2 hours. I do want to kind of see what I can potentially do with Final Fantasy VII on PC with just the translation mod and some of the stuff that's packaged with it. So see, so world patrons may be changing a bit. I mean, I still like the idea of like the Super Mega Ultra patrons. Like, there's cool concepts, but I don't know if I see anyone being more than a Ellie, the Super Patron at this point. That'll be an idea that comes back later. I don't know. Anyway, thanks to producer Aaron. I hope the show probably would not exist in its current form. Of course, thanks to Ellie for being such a cute kitty and getting us all of the views. But anyway, there's also a bunch of little things you can do that will just take a few seconds at a time. In any case, thanks for watching, and until next time, sayonara.